just so you can be entertained here. Anyway, this is a good time. As ever, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from, welcome to DYOR Live, here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another great episode of this show. Looks like my mic is too loud here and overgaining it. Anyway, it is June 20th. 2025. The man in the box is the crypto legend himself, Pedro Garcia, known as Pedro Damas on our channel here. Welcome to the show, Pedro. What is happening today, Pedro? Anyway, I say that because Pedro Damas called it. Remember, he always his sage advice is going up at the beginning of the week, likely to be going down. Obviously, not a guarantee. At the end of the week, as people sell and take their profits and leave for the weekend, and that's exactly what happened today. We had a big dump in Bitcoin and even Nasdaq today, but on Monday we had a huge pump, and then holiday week, so the market got a little thrown off yesterday. But people took their profits today, sold things off. Other people got liquidated because people took their profits, and old Striking here took some demo bucks. I had a big short on. It was on my demo account. It worked out, Pedro. It worked out. I got in, like I said before we started, I got into the trade just after it started dumping. It had rolled over, and I was like, I should have been in it ahead of time because I knew it was coming, but I waited for a little bit more confirmation. I would have probably doubled my money, but I'm green for the week. In that, the trader is going home paid, even if it's a demo bucks, going to pay the rent on my demo apartment. Just paid my demo bills with it. For those of you who don't know the joke, I've been learning to trade once again, and most of my trades are still in a demo account as I practice and get used to trading again. And the big short at the end of the week was not one of the standard models that I trade with real money yet. Well, I will one day, but not right now. So it was a demo trade, but it still counts, marked as a win. You know what else is marked as a win, Pedro? All the people watching us on Rumble already. Thank you very much to everyone on Rumble watching me and Stevie Wonder in the box here. But you are going to see me with those glasses because I want to fix my eyes too. And if Pedro's the potion master and holistic master of everything, and if Pedro says it works, he fixed it. I had bad breath once. He pulled some potion out of his pocket. It could have been heroin for all I know. He says, chew on this. And it made my mouth so dry. I was like, hey, it cured my breath. No problems. I was at a trade show interviewing people. Couldn't have garlic, onion, and beer breath. Oh, it was clove? I thought it was nutmeg or something. Just like whips it out of his pocket at a trade show. Oh, I've got some clove and nutmeg. Right. Oh, shit. This whole conversation, your audio wasn't on. Pedro, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Ladies and gentlemen, all you did was miss Pedro talking about how he puts his potions together that for curing things. His hello and hey, how you doing and all that type of stuff. He hasn't given out the alpha yet, but he will, as I said, as he was giving the alpha out to me earlier for trading. Like I said, I made some big fat trading bucks. Like I said, on my demo account. But still, it doesn't matter whether you trade the demo account realistically. I gotta tell you, Pedro, even on the demo account, the pips start sweating when it's right on the edge of going your way. And if it goes the other way, you're going to get stopped out. And you're on the edge. And you're like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? And it's still realistic. And if you treat it, if you just don't know anything about crypto, open up a demo account and just hit buy and sell, I can't imagine there'd be any drama. But when you're trying to play by the rules that you've learned, when you're trying to see if your model works, and knowing that if it was a real trade, you'd be getting paid, when it wins, it does put a little bit of stress on you, even if it's a demo or trade. I was very surprised. And it kind of reminds me, I did some firearm training a while ago. I used to be in that business, for you new people. And we did what's called simunition training, where we had to draw and shoot each other with essentially paint bullets that go into real guns. They're called simunitions. And even though you wore a face mask and you knew it was just going to leave a red mark on your shirt when the guy shot you, the pits ran like sweating, nervous. You got the adrenaline and steroid dump when it happened. And I have to say, I did shoot the other guy first, so I was very happy. But afterwards, I was shaking and stuff. I was like, oh my word, it was really real. Anyway, learning to trade is very similar. And I have to work that out. And obviously, experienced traders don't do that anymore. It was very similar to when I used to go live all the time. I'd get ready either for a client or myself. I'd press that live button and I'd start shaking. My arms would sweat and stuff like that. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, we're going to go live. Even for a client. And I'm not even on camera. Just getting ready to go live, make sure everything's right. Now it's just like, fuck it, going live. Ah, shit, mic's not on. Fuck it.
Well, you know what's interesting? One of the things that they teach Navy SEAL guys, because you've got to have, calmness under pressure there. And what's interesting is and I thought this was really interesting. It's a breathing technique. Now, granted, I mean, when you're killing people, you still always got to be a little bit. It's got to be a little bit.
Pew pew pew. Oh.
Yeah. But it's a breathing technique, and it's actually kind of cool. What you do is take a big deep breath in, and you can use this in your trading, right? So if you're kind of freaked out and you're going into or if you're getting out of your prefrontal cortex and going into reptilian brain, which basically with that fight or flight mode, right, where you're parasympathetic and I forget the other one. Basically, they fight with each other to stay calm. Right. And when you get in that, it's almost like your body's saying, oh, no, there's a tiger chasing me. So one of the ways you can actually go through and calm yourself. I'm going to teach you, if you guys are looking to trade, it's what I do. I know a few people who do this. It does help them out. Now, each person is a little bit different, but all you do, you take a big deep breath in and then you take a small breath after. You go like this. And then you breathe out very slowly, like through a pinhole. You go like this. The reason I did, you blow it out, but the thing is and you blow it as much and you do it about 3 times. And within those 3 times, your blood level will be chill. You'll be like calm again, and you'll be able to do that. And typically it'll take you about 30 seconds, 15 seconds, depending on how good you're breathing. You don't want to breathe it all out, but I do that. It helps me out tremendously. So I can stay in the present moment using my prefrontal cortex and using the plan in which I've set before myself to do the trade. So that's one thing that's a huge thing. And I don't know if it does get rid of the perspiration. I mean, listen, doesn't matter who you are, you're always going to feel that. It's a good thing. And that's one of those things that keep you on your edge and keeps you learning.
All righty.
So yeah. There's little things, right? Like you don't think it matters much, but it's like having a little bit of ginger or a little bit of cloves or, just little things that will basically, these little things help. And I know it sounds silly, but it really does. And because remember, you're going against the smartest people in the world, and they are extremely good at their job. And their job is to take your money and make you feel dumb and laugh about it later with their friends who took your money. So any little edge you need to have, right? And those small little edges start to build up over time. Anyways, enough with my craziness.
Enough with your craziness, Pedro, but more from 1775 Coffee. Hey, have you still not tried 1775 Coffee? Now is your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. Pedro, it's just like Bitcoin. It's scarce. It's limited. You got to buy it before it's all gone. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for a clean energy and laser focus crash. Laser focus. No crash. No crash.
No crash, baby.
All single origin, small batch, toxin-free and mold-free. Plus, you're also getting a gold spoon clip because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. Nope, no it isn't. A frother strong enough to stir up your coffee and your mother-in-law's political opinions. You also get a black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. I can't even imagine meeting a woke sea witch or a sea witch in general. You also get you're getting $175 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler, it is. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Or, right here is QR code. If you're a viewer here and you got your phone out, go ahead and click this and see what the offers are. It helps us out if you just click it. Just click it and go to their website and see if their sales pitch can lure you in. But if not, good try. And then, of course, if you're in the chat, there'll be a link also to this. So thank you, 1775 Coffee. That was the first time we got one of those right away there, Pedro.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the pickup. Thank you, guys. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. We're going to go over some dope stuff here. We're going to be going over quite a bit of meme coins as well as major coins setups for the week. So coming in for Monday and Tuesday, how to play the weekend. So please stick around. We're also going to go over a lot of meme coins that I see large communities. I'm always being tagged in these communities. So I'm definitely been looking at them and following them. And then I was also liked by a major guy named Fez, I believe. He has like 100,000+ followers. A lot of people watching him. So I picked up some of his meme coins because he does a lot of meme coins. So a lot of things we're going to go over today. We're going to have big, we're going to go over micro, we're going to go mid, and then from there we're going to go to macro. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we're also going to go over news and everything that correlates with it, because from war to scandals within governments and all other sorts of crazy things right now. And Elon Musk, X is going to be setting up a trading platform within X, which is
He's been talking that X was going to be the everything platform, and usually companies fail. When they try to do everything, they don't do anything good.
Unless Amazon.
Right, exactly.
But there was one. There's only been one, right?
And we'll see how Elon does in that. I mean, everyone figured he's going to roll out a coin. I'm guessing he's not going to use Doge as the coin behind it. He's going to roll out his own to ensure he has a little bit of control on it, because he likes to control things. But we'll see. I'm sure it'll be a huge success because they've only got 2 billion users. So even if it's a little bit, it's like, we only got 2%. Oh, okay. Well.
Well, man, I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, even if they had 500 mil, right? Let's say they have 500 mil, right? 500 mil is still a killer, bro. Like 500 mil, like if you could, like that's a juggernaut. You're still a juggernaut. So, I mean, whether you're 500 mil or whether you're 2 billion, dude, it's going to be really interesting. Really, really interesting. Is that really what they say? There's 2 billion people who use them?
I think they have 2 billion registered users, and I think it's like between 200 to 400 million users a day, something crazy like that.
Oh, that's what they do. Yeah, you're right. Yep. I misunderstood that. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. I think what's interesting is when I've been looking at a lot of the stuff that we've been doing, the aspect of like, we need to get an AI for our show. We need to be able to, because I know like when I make predictions on X, it literally like, I'll be like, oh, we're going to go down this today, and it shoots down, right? It's literally X. When you click on my profile and it sits there and says, what is Pedro like? It literally says Pedro kills the market and he knows how to direct it. And I'm like, what? Like I clicked on it, I was like, oh, what does this say about me? And when it said that, I was like, wow. So we got to get something where whenever you click on our X profile, it literally sits there and goes, these guys are eerily good at predicting future movements and the political markets within government markets.
Well, what we need is people to tweet that, and then Grok and other AIs will read those things.
Oh, okay. I see how it works. All right, I get it.
Oh, trust me, people are filling up AI and Grok full of shit by having those types of campaigns. And so I was reading an article about how Grok has to now go into community notes also, and it's just one of those things. It's just like the radar detector game. Get a radar detector, cops are like, foiled, and they get a better laser technology. Yeah. Better radar detector comes out, better laser technology.
Absolutely.
Cat and mouse
game. Tom and Jerry all over again, 1950s. All right. Let's go into everybody's waiting. What's going on with Bitcoin? Let's jump right into it. All right, guys. So Bitcoin, like we've said in the beginning, this week market go up on Monday. I thought, again, we'll jump back on to Saturday. I thought we were going to see a down market further on Sunday and then see us go up, but I was a little wrong. And so that was last Friday. But like I said, I wanted to see it go up, then down. And I thought we were going to go up simply because I figured there's going to be some good news in relationship to Donald Trump speaking about what he's doing. There was good news that he did speak about. We had the not Genesis Act. We had the Genius Act. We had the Stablecoin Act, and there was the other one. I forget what it was. But they're all moving through Congress as well as the Senate. And so I figured that news was definitely going to pump crypto. But like and behold, I figured that. But of course, everybody bought, and then what did the institutions do? Took the other side. So this is where you see the and it's just but the thing is they didn't put a ton of volume in it. So I'm going to point out some cool little things, and then we'll and expect maybe a potential really push for tomorrow. So let's check that out here real quick. Also, right before we do that, let's go over the trade that we had yesterday on Bitcoin. I said expect us to kind of go above here and then to come down. And then when we come down, I always say, wait for us to get below the 8-period moving average. So here's the 8, which is the purple line here. Give me 1 second. That is this purple line here. So we popped up. We came down. You saw us come into the purple line, right? And I said, once you're below the purple line, which is the 8-period moving average, right? Either wait for a pullback, something right here. And then we put our stop at the local high, and we want a 1-to-1 ratio. So right here, we would look like we got a 1-to-1 ratio, probably a little bit more of a 1-to-1 ratio. You would take off 60% to 70% on this trade. Then from there, you wait until it breaks that 8-period moving average. If it doesn't if it's not going to continue down, you're ready. You take off the 1-to-1 at 60%. If we break that 8, you take the rest of that off. Okay, or you do whatever you want. You can wait for the pullback and retracement back to this level here. But ultimately, it's one of those things you can decide what you want to do. But sure enough, nice little trade we played, 1-to-1 ratio right here to right here. Like I said, these have a very high win ratio. And so potentially by the pullback of it, that's why I always say to you guys, you just want to get on first base and second base, right? And then if it stops you out, cool, you'll have enough win ratio on this. Well, it does cover your stops. But I always want you guys, as it breaks this, and this is the fulcrum point. This was the fulcrum point. As it breaks this, we want to see it then find support with volume, which we saw some volume, but you can see right here at these levels, we saw volume step in, which was higher. So that was an indication saying they're going to reverse it and push back up. So I would have been out of this trade right here of the break and close of the 8. Would have been done. Thank you. Have a nice day. Great trade. Have a good day. Right? So those are those little plays that you can play off of, and I love them. They're just little plays. You're not risking your life savings. Again, it's not financial advice. This is only for social and educational purpose only. Purely edutainment. But if it happens to work out for you, well, that's on you, okay? That's on you. It ain't me. I ain't no Domus. I ain't nothing like that. But you do what you want. But again, that's how I'm looking at the market, and it played out very nice. Again, we didn't catch the up mark, but again, these are the little trades that you just take. That's it. You're not holding for 2 or 3 days. Now, if the market continues like some days, right? That trade, the 8-period is trending all day. And you get in on, I mean, look at this. This was one of those trades here, right? Boom. Look at that all day long. Boom. Except right here, we closed, but not a lot of volume. So you wouldn't have got out. But if you wanted to, you could have at least taken your second target. And then from there, continue down until you saw a volume step in right here. And you're like, all right, I'm out. And you would have caught the whole entire move from 105.723 all the way down to, I mean, what is that? 104.13. So nice little trade right there. A few hundred points there. I think about 1,000 points altogether. But again, those are trades that I always try to give you guys this little setup so you guys can play this. Alrighty, so let's look now at the daily trade and the weekly that we had talked about. So it went up on Monday. And give me 1 second as I pull this up for you guys.
It did go on Monday, Pedro. And you know what? You tell your, and then I'll do my comment about Monday and Tuesday.
All right. So we saw it go up on Monday, right? We saw a big old seller wick step in, and I said we got a big old seller wick, even though we closed green, we got a big old seller wick. So I said be careful on Tuesday to see we might still go up, but ultimately we're probably going to go down for the week. Well, we went up a little, and then we saw the sell-off come in. So I said expect the sell-off, but I thought we were going to break through that 50 period moving average, which is this line right here, which is a gray line. And I thought we were going to break through, but man, it just was like, it was holding on for dear life. This is the weekly 8. And so we were playing off of the weekly 8 and the 50-day period moving average. So, but Friday, today, we saw it come in. And to correlate with Wednesday, because I talked about, remember, Powell was going to speak. So we need to point that out here. When Powell spoke, he kept it very general, didn't say he was going to raise rates or whatever. That actually came later. Last night by one of their guys talking about they might raise rates in July by, I think it was, what was it? I forget.
Yeah, Governor Wallin from like Kansas or somewhere. He kind of spoke out of turn there.
Yeah, he did. It was kind of silly. I can't believe. When I saw, I was like, anyways, let's jump back to here. So as we saw the market happen, I said expect Wednesday, when Powell was speaking, to go up and then potentially go down. Well, it didn't fully go down. So this was when we saw he was speaking right here, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We saw it kind of go up right here during the show as we were leaving. So we saw it go up. And I said, expect it to hit the 8 period moving average. Well, it didn't. So what it did is it went up a little, came down, but we went sideways right here. Then we came up and almost touched the 8 period moving average, sitting right here in the night session, and then from there and continued down as we had talked about. Today's wick was this wick was taking out all these stops right here. See all these little peaks right here? This was a stop taker. This is people taking profit. They made money on the Monday, right, where they put their position on the high, and then they dropped it today, because remember I always talk about the CME also has a Bitcoin futures, right? And that is, I believe, a $50 or $50 for every point. So yeah, I think it's a 50 to 1 or a, I don't know, 51 or 5,000 to 1. I forget exactly what it is. But either way, it is still, a 50 to 1 or 500 to 1. So when there's a move, you're making big money. So they made big money on this short. They shorted up in here. You saw it come down, and then they made basically the profit between 106, 107-ish, 107 to about where we're sitting right now at that 104, 103 area. So if we close below the weekly 8 period moving average, which we're sitting at right now, I'm expecting us over the weekend, right? If we close below here, expect Sunday and Monday most likely to go up, retest this 8 period moving average, and then expect us to go down into the weekend or into next week, where we test these lows of like that 100 and potentially, which I've been talking about, that 91 area where there's a lot of liquidity there. So small little things, but be ready for that over the next weekend. So again, over the weekend, expect a potential drop and then an up on Sunday for it to retest. So Saturday we drop, Sunday we retest to hit that 8 period, maybe go high. You're going to hit some of these moving out, or some of these wicks here, these seller wicks here. I'll point it out right here. Give me 1 second. And again, you don't need to risk a lot. All this is literally just compound interest takes care of itself. So all you got to do is literally just make sure to start with a small amount, right? And then just slowly build build your craft. And then before you know it, 3 to 5 years from now, you're sitting on 500K or maybe $1 million, right? Where you built your account and then it's moved. And again, small plays, right? But consistently winning, right? We just want to get on base, and we just want to make sure we just keep hitting. And so you'll get a grand slam a few times, right? Boom, every week, maybe once or twice. But what you're looking for is, you're looking for the run. You're looking for first base, second base. If you can steal second base, great. That's your second target, right? And then you hit your third target. If your third target is still running, volume is still continuing, you might get that grand slam and go home run, right? And go, get 4 bases on that. So, anyways, sorry to just talk your ear off over that, but I wanted you guys to just have an understanding of what we see here. Go ahead, Tom. You were saying that you wanted to.
I'm going to bring up my chart here. I just saw some interesting things on Monday with the market makers. Now, this was a holiday week. Come on here. There we go. Sorry, I was getting my screen there, and for some reason, I'm a little oh, wrong button. Sorry, I've been hitting the wrong button the whole time. I'm like, where am I? Anyway, Pedro, if you look over here, right next to me here, there's Monday here. This first blue line I have at the top there. Right here, this is Monday. And the market makers took this thing and launched it. Boop! I should say the people with all the monies. They launched it. They went up. And then right around midnight, they said, no mas, exito, finisho. That was my Spanish, real good there. Exit, time to go.
Amazing.
And then they just dump it right down. When you look at this thing, what does it look like, Pedro?
It looks like a giant finger in your face.
Right, and I thought, I'm looking at that like that, and I'm like, hope the algorithms don't pick that up. But I'm like, none of this is accidental. Remember, Bitcoin, pricing in Bitcoin is not accidental and random. There are many plans of big money players moving this and grooving this. And us little guys here, all our job is to take the crumbs off of it. And even if the crumbs are millions of dollars for these big traders, compared to the institutional money, it's little. But so they're giving us the finger. I said, this week is going to be a doozy. Now, this is super technical advice here. Wink, wink. It's not. Anyway, and then so the market came back down immediately, and everyone's like, "What the f? Come on," because everyone's thinking Bitcoin go up all the time, right? So then we get the third stripe up here is Wednesday. Not much going on. A little pump and then a little dump after it, and then Thursday, this time period here was a day off for the U.S. and that is the large between 7:30 and kind of noon Eastern time. That's the biggest liquidity move, and not much going on. I was like, something's up. Something's up. Not everybody left for the Hamptons. Yeah, not everyone left for the Hamptons or the Jersey Shore. That didn't go down to the shore. And then this morning I wake up and see this pump, this liquidity grab here, right here. And so I was looking at it, and I just did the old chart inverse, like that, and I'm like, big. This. Why isn't that working now? The dump right here, the green part, and I said this is going to dump off today at some point. And sure enough, it's just consolidated for a little bit. People were actually getting bullish because it formed a little bull flag there, and I was like, I don't know. I think it's gonna dump. I'm listening. I got Pedro's sage wisdom in my ear, and going, I was actually watching another guy's show, and he's calling it long, and I was like, I don't know, and then it started to roll off, and I got in on that thing, and bang, paid the rent. It was the demo rent for my demo apartment, but I still paid the rent. But so when you see a pattern like this is just these guys messing with you here. Know at the end of the week there's going to be shenanigans too. You gotta listen to Pedro for say how it's going to go. Someday you'll be able to listen to me, but right now I'm telling you, if you see shenanigans at the beginning of the week, it's going to finish with shenanigans. And take advantage of them, because then you can pay the demo rent with the demo bucks. And but while I'm talking about that, thanks everyone that's watching us on the various platforms.
Absolutely.
We've got viewers on X today. We have 2 viewers on Twitch, YouTube letting us down once again, and but Rumble, Rumble is picking up the slack, and you guys are doing a great job. Remember, everybody, this is an interactive show, and in order to be an interactee, you need to have an account with Rumble. Doesn't mean you need to pay the big bucks and sign up for Rumble premium plan, but we would appreciate it if you did using the link by clicking subscribe from our Rumble page. But you can just get an account. Just sign in with your Google account. You can watch it and you can comment, and you can follow us, and you can ask questions. If you ask questions, Pedro and I will give you good answers, because that's what we like to do. Right. And we used to have a lot of people doing that on YouTube, and then YouTube it just stopped feeding us. They must have downrated crypto things, because I was watching this other guy yesterday who Pedro. He is a smart guy and makes money, but his video streams, he has so much info. You know how you have a lot of information? He tells his viewers 50 times the amount of information. My head was spinning around like the Exorcist kid or Poltergeist around my head, listening to it. And I was like, and I could tell the viewers were like, but he mentioned that his viewership was down.
They are probably just trying to avoid any happen because, again, we're gonna come into the alt season here. We're gonna be seeing things pump in. You're gonna see microcoins, and it's gonna get crazy here, and then probably next 6 months, right into the end of the year. And so, as this happened, I think they're just trying to avoid, because again, there's always that crash. Newbies come in, and then it crashes on them, and so they're just like, you know what, let's right now, and that's what maybe I'm wrong, but it's something I could assume, because like crypto's in, or maybe the big banks have told YouTube, hey, get rid of that stuff, because those guys over there may be on point, but we don't want other people listening to them. We want them to listen to us and our sage advice over on Bloomberg, or
right. That's a good point.
CNBC, right? So there's always little small things that actually happen. And again, if there's real good knowledge that's actually coming out to you, the large media platforms don't want that. Just like they've been crapping on independent news reporting, that we've seen this. They say horrible stuff, yet I meant to say, Joe Rogan, people most of the time call him a conspiracy theorist, but if you listen to
Pedro,
him,
I'm going to bridge this right into knowledge here. And where else, if you're not trusting the big media platforms, where's a good platform to go? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for a great place online for news, discussion, and entertainment, then check out Truth Social, Donald Trump's social media website. You'll get breaking news stories and commentary from top media figures. If you want to see Trump's legendary Truth Social posts, then get on Truth Social today. Join a growing community of patriots on a free speech platform designed to avoid censorship and cancellation by big tech. Make your voice heard. Join the movement. Join Truth Social. And Pedro, we have I don't know if you know this, but we have a Truth Social account.
Yes, we do.
We're supposed to be on the screen right now, but it's not. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, our Truth Social account. Here it is. We post, here's today's post advertising our show. And then we post it in the crypto category, so you can go there. Lots of good information about crypto. They don't censor anything about crypto on Truth Social. It's up to the community to upvote and downvote, so you can literally upvote and downvote like Reddit, and things that get more downvotes appear lower on your feed. But anyway, if you do not have a Truth Social account, click this QR code right here. Do yourself a favor. Oh, I guess now I'm behind the QR code. Do yourself a favor. Click the QR code right here, and join up. At least just at least try out the QR code. Make sure it works. Anyway, if you're on your phone, there'll be a link in the chat, or you can just go to truthsocial.com to sign up.
And I think what's interesting is with Truth Social, yes, Mr. The president is a part of it, and he uses it quite a bit. But at least there, man, you have your whack jobs, but then you also have some people who are really doing good. They're doing good journal.
The advertisement's over now, so.
But well, here's the thing. Here's also, I gotta admit, Blue Skies, there are some people out there that are really just on point, right? So it's not, there's gems on all those platforms of people doing really good when it comes to journalist investigation. Now, granted, I feel like the majority of them are all crackpots, but you got to shift through it, and you can really get.
When the advertisement's over, you move on.
All right, cool.
So you don't mention the competitor right near the advertisement.
Oh shoot!
Exactly. Yeah, you never see a Pepsi commercial after the Coke commercial.
Yeah,
those last guys were idiots. our commercial is better.
But listen, like I said, I do like Truth Social. It really is. They do a great job. They really do a great job. So,
I got to tell you, I'm surprised there are not people in our comments from Blue Sky right now, because all the people that don't believe in crypto and call it a scam, like it's a scam. They all went to Truth Social, and a little bit to Threads. Threads are full of crackpots too, but they all went over there and like, oh, you're just a scammer, right? I was like, why would I be a scammer? And they're like, well, you're in crypto, so you're a scammer. Scammer. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, what's so scam? Well, Bitcoin's a scam. Everybody knows it. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Tell all those really wealthy people that their money is fake.
Dude, speaking of that, it's crazy that Iran bombed their stock market building, and the next day they're open and trading. Like, I was just like, what is going on? Like, you would have thought, and everybody online was sitting there saying, oh, it's because they basically took the the Bitcoin that they hacked and just put it to a dead wallet. But it cracks me up that they were trading the next day or today, and they're just like, let's go. I mean, you talk about the biggest like.
If you build redundancy in a system, well, stuff like that works. I mean, they probably always knew this was going to happen at some point. Yeah. I mean, probably every institution in Iran that is based around making money had a backup. The government's like, well, whatever, we can build another Ministry of Defense building. Or Israel, and it's going to get blowed up or whatever, but we'll have it backed up, ready to go. It's funny, I was reading a story about how the New York Stock Exchange is backed up, and they've got a backup site, they said, in an undisclosed location, but it's in the Manhattan, or it's in the New York area. But what they talked about is how in order to back it up, they track the time on trades down to really small amounts, to the small amount where the speed of light makes a difference.
Wow.
And so in order to make sure that let me rephrase that, they have a backup that's close in New York and one like out in the Pennsylvania hills somewhere far away.
Gotcha.
To make sure the backups were exactly the same, the cable that goes to both of them, which is a dedicated fiber cable, is the same length. But one is only across the river, and the other one's out in Pennsylvania. So they've got a spool. They were showing it. They said this spool here is 500 miles of fiber optic long. But even though it's just from here to Brooklyn or the Bronx or wherever it is.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same length as the one that goes out to, wherever the other backup one is. They insinuated it was in the Poconos.
Why would they say that though? That is like dumb. Like, why?
No, I mean they weren't saying where it was, but it was just saying it was the same length. So at the speed of light, and fiber optic took the same amount of time to get to each backup, or if one of the backups has to take over, everyone's exactly on the same time, taking into account the speed of light. I mean, how do you do that at work? Well, boss, I'm the IT guy. You got to fix the desktop here. You got to get the modem going. You got 28.8 kps on that thing there. No, boss, we need you, or Tom there, we need you to take advantage of the speed of light. I'll just call my buddy Einstein.
Well, yeah. It's interesting on the back end with that. Just the advances. Now that we're going to be talking about, quantum entanglement and how they're literally teleporting information from one source to another. That's going to be really, really interesting when that correlates, because right now, they're still funneling, a decent amount of information, but not stock market information, right? Where it's just,
it's like one bit, yes or no. A bunch of them.
But you're talking, it's happening so quick with all the other markets that you just flood it. If you were to get every system. And so it's going to be really interesting to see as they bring that into the actual teleportation of knowledge. That's going to be just, that will be the ultimate, forget you, like, what are you going to do to us, right? Yeah.
Oh, I thought I had the fade effect on here so I could teleport out. I do have a teleport effect here, but it requires all the last CPU cycles on this old computer I use for this.
do not. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go over some meme coins here that I've been kind of checking now here. I want to bring them up to you. Do you want to go into a news source real quick?
I was just gonna hold on. Where's the article? I moved it over here. It was just another company getting into the Bitcoin game, but also the reason I knew that guy Waller's name off the top of my head was because he was. I read the article and had it queued up. Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller argued that the Fed should cut rates in July before the labor market tanks. The price of Bitcoin was changed. Blah blah blah. Bitcoin. Let me find the part. I think we're in a position that we could do this as early as July, he said on CNBC's Squawk Box. That would be my view. Waller's comments followed the Fed's decision to hold rates steady. Let me see where Waller argued. With information running cooler than expected in recent months, Waller argued that the central bank has a green light to begin lowering borrowing costs, despite U.S. Donald Trump's tariffs, which economists fear could lead to slower economic growth. This article, the price of Bitcoin, Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Wallin, but I don't think he's not on the committee that votes, though.
Yeah.
I don't, because remember, Jerome Powell doesn't set the rates. He's the chairman of the whole thing, or the governor of the bank that's federally chartered. But there's a committee that actually decides the rates, and they vote on it. And it's not like one man decision. So when the president's out there beating up on Jerome, like, we're going to fire you, and then put in a guy that I like. Well, the committee's still going to vote, and I think it's like 9 people, or something like that. So changing one guy isn't it, and it was intentionally done like that to eliminate one person from having an abnormal sized influence on it. They like the committee idea. They want to do things slowly and methodically and take in lots of information. I had that queued up to talk about differently, a little bit differently, but your point about bringing him up earlier made me want to talk about that. But anyway, we can head off to meme coin land.
Again, we're gonna go back and forth here, so we'll go over news sources as well as some meme coins and stuff. I want to point these out here real quick. I saw this stuff on the market here, and I'm just kind of went. Again, these are not advances. These are not me. Not advances. I am not supporting these. But I've been looking at more because I feel like, obviously, like we saw with the 19 and 20 meme coin craze, right? Or the last bull run, we saw the ICO craze, and I expect to see again more ICO craze coming in. So I'm just trying to prep you guys' mindset to be able to play meme coins and to see how to do it. Now it's going to be similar to how we trade traditional large cap coins, but ultimately what you're looking at is really 2 things. We're looking for a huge community, right? With at least 5 to 10,000 community within the group. If you go on Telegram, go other places, make sure it's the legit organization. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is kind of capitalize in it. A lot of these meme coins are at bottom prices. You can put in $10 and potentially get 100x, if not 1,000x, right? And walk out with $10,000. So this is some of the things that I'm looking at and I'm playing with, and I'm picking up a lot of other different types of them. So I'm not putting a lot of money, again, $5-10 personally, and I'm just putting it in and just seeing if we see a pop, right? And if we see 1,000x, some of these are $1 million, $2 million, some are in the hundreds of, some of them are in 100,000s, but they got huge community, and some are in the 100 million mark. So we're going to look at some of these and and just play smartly. I'm not telling you to bet everything in it, but I'm just saying these are potential areas for you guys to take part in. So first one we're going to look at is really Major League. If I could forget what it's called, the Major League.
Man, I thought the token itself was called Major League.
Yeah, it is.
All the quotes from that movie came ringing into my head real fast.
There you go, Major League Game.
Wild thing.
Dun, 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 dun,
it's too high, just a bit outside. Too low, short.
Ooh, That nailed him.
Hey,
He
Dorn,
that off.
knock off that
You know.
Olay bullshit.
So the first one we're gonna look at is about a $9 million market cap. It's Major League Gaming. I don't know why I was forgetting the gaming, but right now we're kind of consolidating. We saw some decent amount of volume kind of come in early on where it popped up. You saw the sell-off come in, but I'm expecting what we want to see is this to kind of play. So there's one market area here. You can sit there and see this for Major League Gaming here that I'm kind of looking at here, and I think it's a good play to maybe see it kind of pull back. You've got this little area. Let me pull up to the weekly area. There you go. This area right here, I like it. When you start to see this community go crazy on Twitter and all that, and you start to see it going right. These are certain areas that I am looking at to take profit at. One here being waiting for it to kind of pull back down to here, but we want to see it clear that 50 or the 20 period moving average and the 50 period moving average. 20 is the orange, 50 is the gray. And this is the weekly, right? These companies have been around now for a while here now, right? We're talking 50 weeks. They've been around for, you know, a year plus, right? This one was back in May of 2024. So you can sit there, you can gauge this play. I like this down area here, and then ultimately you've got some supply right here for Major League, but also after you get through here, the next level, and it's sitting at 9, the next big level is sitting really right here. And again, this is almost going to be a 10x plus market here. So I'm looking at take the initial, if we come down here into these lower levels of that 0.05485 to that 0.03945 or 2039 or 2054 area, what I'm looking to see is come down. I want to see volume pick up, much like you saw right here, right? I always give you that but I always give you like the thing. We want to see it come down. We want to see volume pick up, right? Boom, you saw it explode here, and then you saw the extreme push up. You saw it consolidate. This one must have been a God candle. Boom, came back down. And so the potential of this going, if we see this thing take flight, this thing did X's here, right? It's sitting at 505. And so it could potentially catch wings. And this is actual real business. They do gaming, a lot of stuff that correlates with that. So I'm looking at that and I'm kind of excited to see what's going on with that. I think if this, if crypto and meme coins really start to get going, this is a potential way that you're going to see money funnel into just the whole entire gaming industry and something to be paying attention to. And again, we could see this thing. I mean, if this thing gets wings, you could see this thing get back up to the 200 mil. Right now it's in at 10 mil or 9 mil. It could even get higher up to a billy here. So again, this is a good, I think at rock bottom price, and you could see it get up and go again. So be ready for that. Keep that in your peripheral vision.
Hey Pedro, I'm trying to locate that one for the graphics machine here. What was the
I'll send you the
Yeah, send me a link on it.
Yeah.
Then I can put it in, so the next time it comes up, we can we'll have the graphics on it. There's a lot of Major League Gamings. There's like 40 of them, so I hope you got the right one.
Oh shoot, for real? Well, I went directly to their.
Oh well, if you got it from them, then it's the right one.
Well, let's just make sure. But you got me. Now you got me second guessing. You got me second guessing. So I'm just sending it to you right now. Boom. And I also sent you the list of the ones that I'm going to be going to last night.
Oh, you did?
Our, TG. Yeah, if you look at TG. Yeah. I told you I'm going to be going over that. So.
Oh, the graphic.
Yep. All this right here. And then on top of that, I have the list of some of the top ones that I'm looking at.
I thought you just, I read it, but I didn't understand it. Okay, I got you.
All right, alrighty. Okay, so the next one that I really am, everybody knows this. FWOG is like the, I hate, what's going on? No. Dude.
What?
I'm overtaxing my system because I've got like 50 million tabs. I have to cancel some.
I know the problem.
Yes.
I have to reload. If you have any exchanges open, I have to reload those. In fact, I can't even, reloading them doesn't help. I have to copy the URL, close the tab, open a new tab, paste it, and then it gets it down to like 200 megabytes a tab instead of a gigabyte.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to do that. All right, guys, let's jump in here because I want to go over these real quick before we can. And plus, I want to go into some other news that I'm really excited about. The one I want to go over potentially what X will look like if he does bring that everything. If he allows for trading, in addition to the ability to mess with NFTs, it's going to be really interesting. And that should generate some big money because Elon Musk was smartly setting this up for the next bull run here. I mean, so he intelligently set this up to where he was like, if he did it anytime sooner, I think it would have lost steam. But the fact that this is kind of getting set up for the bull run here, I think people will easily use the X platform from a lot of, and it keeps it safe. And he's going to generate a lot of money if we start to see it get going. So,
because he needs more money.
Well, here's the thing. The man lives on everybody's couch.
Well, let's put it this way. He puts his capital to good use.
Yeah, it's not like he's buying yachts where he has hot women hanging out with him all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
gets him pregnant.
I mean, he gets him pregnant. You're right. Yeah, you're right. He does get them pregnant. But how do I? Oh man, I don't even know how to talk about that. But long story short, I think I'd rather give him money because he used it from it's like giving money to Warren Buffett. You just know, like, he doesn't give dividends on his stock. He thinks he's better at deploying it, which he is. He's proven it for the last 50 years, right?
Yep.
So he's got so it's like, I don't mind you giving me debt because you're gonna make my share go up, 2-3x over the next 3 years, 4 years, or at least 1x, beat the market 10 times fold, right? I mean, we know his skill set. So I feel it's like the same thing with Elon, right? I may not like the guy, but he's gonna make me money. So hey, what are you gonna do? All right. So let's check out Fwog. Fwog has actually done a lot. We see their stuff all over Twitter. If you're in the trenches, you've seen Fwog. It's all over the place. So I'm looking at here from off Solana. Let's check it out here real quick. And Tom, you see the connection there, right? You see the list there that I gave you?
Yeah.
All right, go through. If you could just double check me, making sure. I thought I pulled a good thing, but I'm always willing to say that I could be wrong. So make sure I'm doing the right contract.
I will give it a shot. Well, this one's $40 million market cap with almost $5 million in volume, so it's the right one. I think it is. A lot of the scammers will have a fake market cap, but the 24-hour volume is $300. So in order to get that, these volumes are reported by exchanges. So I know you got the right one because I got my information from your screen. As long as it says $40 million market cap.
And again, I can always be wrong. So I make sure you guys are doing your own research here, okay? I don't want to sit there and say, trust me, I know it all, because
trust me, bro.
There is no trust me. Look, you do your own work, right? I'm a huge proponent. I don't give you, I'm going to give you trades, but you got to do your work with it. I don't give you exactly. So I always tell you, set up your own trading system. Make sure you are logging every single one of your trades and making sure that you understand the reason why you got in that trade, why you have your stop at a certain point, and why you have a target, and make sure you're journaling it, every single one. Okay. And then I'll start to help you. Look at my friend down here below. He will concur with the statement that I gave you.
Oh, I forgot to write down that trade anyway. Good thing you said that.
Dude, what are you? Come on, bro. All right, so with our good old friend Fwog, I like the area down at the 12 mil. We're starting to see sellers starting to come in, but again, this is not major trading, or not major. We're not putting money in this, right? A ton of money. I'm looking $5-10, right? So I like this area down at the 12 mil area to the 9 mil area coming down to here. But again, I believe this is a good setup because you can see here, we already pushed through a lot of the supply. Right now, there's not really a lot of supply wicks as we're coming down here. right? That means they're sellers. There's this one, but there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Nothing here. Nothing here. The only one the next one is at that 140 or 114 million area market cap, right? And even then, that's been traded through right here. So the next real system up here is really kind of coming right here, which is going to be that 261 milli here. And so I like this area for an area of a good little push. And the fact that it's sitting at 40 milli, I mean, you're talking, you can get a 5x here, if not much higher, right? I mean, look at the market cap here that they got. I think they got it to, yeah. So I thought it was going to be a billion, but 700 milli. All right. So that's not a bad, that's a 10x. If it catches wings, you're talking, it could keep going. So I like the kind of bottom area here. I'm looking to kind of pick up, like, again, $5, $10, decide what you want to do, but that's where I'm looking at. So I like that one. Now I'm going to pull up the next one. Tom, could you talk about
Hold on, before
buying
you
it?
do, but hold on,
Go ahead.
before I do that, the next one you have is Act.
Yes.
I'm not, you sent me a link to their Telegram room and it's coming back as not a real Telegram room.
Let me pull it
and
up.
there's a bunch of acts on CoinGecko. There's at least 5, not of liquidity groups of the same thing. I'm saying completely different tokens.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, so we can skip that then for now. I'll look into that. What about the whiff? I mean, everybody knows dog whiff hat.
Well, hit it up.
All right, we'll do dog whiff hat here. Boom. Alrighty then. Boom. And ding, 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 ding. Come on, why did you? There you go. Highlight. There we are. Boom. How we doing on our viewers? Check on our viewers. How are they doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, everyone with Rumble, thanks for joining us. You're putting out. We've got 13 of you on Rumble right now. Thank you very much. Again, only a few on YouTube. You slackers at the YouTube algorithm. Even Crypto Mike isn't here. He's sulking from that Edmonton Oilers loss. And there's a couple of you watching on Twitch and on X as well. So thank you everybody for joining us there.
Oh, I almost forgot. Let me go back here because I didn't give you guys a base to really buy in on that previous one with Flog. All right, so like I said, I want you guys to kind of be looking to be buying at this lower area here. If it dips even low here, well, then the next level is really down at its basement here, which is going to be at like 400K, 200K area. So we'll decide where we're going to go there. But I like this area. I think it should hold here until we see it go up. So here we go. Next one, forgive me. And we're going to do this right here with dog whiff hat. Boom, whiff. All right, so whiff was really interesting. This caught the lore on this, there was kitty with hat, the dog with hat. There were a lot of things here that really kind of
interesting that the dog with hat formed cat ears.
That's funny. Look at that right there.
Dun. Psh.
Yeah, and then you got a little cat wearing the little nose.
Oh man, it tanked even further. Should have stayed in my short. Never mind. Keep going.
All right. You can always just make sure you're trending on a entry time frame. Wait for a pullback up with lines, supply wick with moving averages.
I had a profitable Friday. It's trade's over.
All right, cool. Walk away. It's time for the weekend. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at this here real quick. Where is mine? There it is. Boom. So, what we're seeing here is we've been playing off of the monthly 8-period moving average on the dog with hat. Again, I think we got some more legs down here. We've got a couple areas here, but so you got this area right here, which is sitting. And let me move that to boom. Come on. So around this area of the 417 milli mark area to that 300 milli mark, kind of I'm more adamant to get in on the lower area because you got a zone within a zone or zone upon a zone, and I always like to go with the bottom zone potentially when I'm looking to trade something. So You've got this zone, you've got this other zone, this monthly zones. So I think this is where we're going to see it come down to. Either way, I like this area here where I'm getting in. Again, the height of this one was 5 billion. So anywhere between 400 to 300, you're getting at least a 10x. And if we go down below that that 170 to 50, those are areas that are definitely being held by major whales there that are just chads all the way through, almost retardio guys who are going to go hold on to this. So really important. But the key is we want to see, right, us break that 8. So your first target is going to be that 8, which is right now it's sitting around that 1 billion mark. So you've got at least a 3 to 4x here for it to just hit that first real resistance that it's been playing off of. And then after that, if it breaks this, then you're talking, I mean, this one, potentially we could see some sellers come in. Well, we'll see. Let's put it up here real quick. Boom.
Oh, it looks like a lot of the money has come out, though, of Dog with Hat. Like many, not just altcoins, but meme alt, kind of the ones that span the altcoin and meme coin kind of categories. You know, meme coins, 99% of meme coins are here and gone very quickly. And the ones that stick around, like SHIB and stuff like that, kind of turn into alts.
Yeah, they do. And that's
because they're traded, very thoroughly. And this one's got, Dog with Hat has $237 million in 24-hour trading volume and a $761 million market cap. I mean, that's a lot. So it's as big as many altcoins.
Yeah, and so these are the ones that we're picking up, and they're at low market cap. So even though we did see money come out, these are guys just taking profit. I don't think it's going to go away. I think come the next alt season, we're definitely going to see some movement here. Is it going to be to the all-time high? Well, that's 5 billion. It might. I'm not saying it might not. I mean, you could get a potential, 50x off of this if it hits the all-time high, if not higher. But again, we're looking at just good plays here that are going to be solid, and we're going to see it make money here, right? All right, so the next one is we're going to go over unicorn fart dust. Give me 1 second.
Oh, I had Chill Guy up. Darn.
Oh, yeah, Chill. Oh, you're right. Yeah, pull up Chill. No, we'll do Chill. Give me 1 second. Oh, it went away. Where is it at? Come on, Chill Guy. Give me your... I thought I had it.
Just a Chill Guy.
There we are, boom. Here we go, boom. Boom, Chill Guy. I just want to make sure the market cap is correct. 2.5 mil. Boom. Now, Chill Guy I thought was really interesting. This one kind of pumped, right? We saw it pump here, and then we saw it come back down. Now, the pump here was about 800. This was kind of a sleeper. I remember, actually, and I'm mad at myself, I saw it down here like the first couple of days during Christmas time. And I was like, dude, it's just, I almost got into it, but I didn't. And because of this movement here, like you saw, within a few days, you saw it pick up here. And then this day right here, sitting around that 44 mil, but I thought it had already paid out, like they were going to see it dump. But man, this thing went all the way up from 40 all the way up to almost 800 mil. So again, that was a pretty big run up. So with that said, I'm definitely looking for, again, it's got a big following. They've got a huge community. Again, this isn't as old as a lot of those. It's about 6 months, but it has a huge community and a lot of people follow it. So I would sit there, and you need to have it on your radar because we could see some big movements here as it populates the, as we come in, not the pop up, but as we come into the alt season coming up. So you can see here, let's put this out where I think it could potentially come down to. And ooh, I thought, oh, there it is. Yeah, boom, boom. So we could see a chill guy come down all the way at that 26 mil to the 29 mil. Again, I'm saying this, you can decide whatever you want to put in yourself. I'm personally putting in about $5, $5 to $10. I've got multiple of these. Like I said, I've got about 20 of these, 20, 30 of them that I'm just putting money in and see whatever, you know, and just pay attention. Just pay attention. Because again, the reward here are pretty big. Excuse me. I don't mean to burp in your guys' ear. The first initial real slide of, or the first initial supply area that we could expect to see kind of resistance come in is sitting right here on chill guy here. It's going to be that 150 or 158 milli to about 260 mil. But if it breaks this, right, your first target personally, I'm looking to hit that 8-period moving average on the monthly. You can see how we hit it here. And we found it's interesting. Even before it shows up, I'm always expecting it. That's why sometimes when you guys see me look at a market and go, oh, and there's nothing there, there's no moving averages. And I'll go, oh, because the 8's going to be about right here. And you can see the 8, which is the purple line right here on this monthly chart, 8-period simple moving average was about this area. We came in, hit it, and we sold off, and we're coming down. So we've got this.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, what's up, Mikey?
Sorry, no sound effects today, so I had to sing it for you. Welcome, Crypto Mike.
What's up, Mikey? It's good to see you, brother.
Crypto Mike asks, how is Beanzil doing? Pedro, at the end of the show today, he will hit that BNB. Right now, we're going over a bunch of memes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can see here that on this play here, I'm expecting it to come down. We didn't put really a big supply wick here for this month, so I expect us to kind of come down into this lower level, into the end of the month, find some buyers, and then see it come back up. We should break through that 8-period, but even between the low of 26 to 19 mil, then that 8-period is sitting at 109 million. So you're talking that's a 5x you could potentially get. And then get up to that 150 again is a nice little, I mean, it's a nice little, what is that, 5 to 8x? And if this thing breaks this, then I would expect it to go up and test the highs here. Now, the only bad thing is on the daily, you've got a lot of SMAs playing with it. But again, this is where we've seen that, like that weekly ping pong area that I always talk about. You just kind of do this. And then we boom, 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 boom. So again, that's what we're looking at. Chill guy. And then the next one here was...
to be clear, everyone, that was chill guy on Solana, not the chill guy on ETH. There's a couple of different chill guys. That was chill guy on Solana, and the great graphic machine here wasn't clear on that. And the only way to really tell is Pedro's got it up on Radium up there in the corner.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, and then now we got Mitchie. Give me 1 second.
I'm having problems with Mitchie.
All right, so we can let Mitchie right now just go away until we find the community.
There's a lot of scams in the Mitchie. I mean, lots.
All right, so we'll leave that one alone. I don't want our community to play with those. Let's go ahead and pull up. And did you check out Peanut? I know Peanut was banging.
Yeah, Peanut's the right. You got the right one for Peanut, I believe.
Okay, cool. And this is why, like, I like working with Tom and we both double check each other, and it does help us out quite a bit. And I know you're like, well, you should already have this stuff. Well, listen, I can't. And even then, me and Tom still make mistakes, right? So
right. I've done that before.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things that you can only do so much. And here we go, Peanut. Boom. Market cap, there we go. Now, we all know the origin story of Peanut. Peanut was taken away from a gentleman who was holding it, which was absolutely... You talk about the most...
It's just one of the weirdest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, it really was. And it was, what was so weird is that the Biden administration stood behind this act. And I was like, how can you, how is that possible? Like, why would you get behind and stand behind that act? You know, people are hate you now. Like, you're supposed to be the opposite, where you sit there and protect, right? Those guys. And I just thought it was interesting that, you know, like, nothing was said. They didn't, you know, it was real interesting.
I like the memes from Peanut the Squirrel, in which they took the pictures of, remember Elian Gonzalez, of the FBI coming in and rescuing him with firearms drawn and everything, and pointed at him, and they took off Elian's head and put the squirrel. And it was really funny. They had some really funny ones.
That's awesome. All right, guys. So we got a few. Again, we got a zone within a zone. So we're prepping for this in case we see some moves. So we got a weekly zone and we've got a monthly zone. Typically, the monthly zone will hold, but if it doesn't, we want to capture the lower part here. Again, this one, this is 2 zone. Maybe put 5 on one and 5 on the other. But we're sitting at right now we're sitting at 22 mil. I'm up in this level. I expect us to come back down to that 140-ish area. Could potentially get up to that 150 and then hold, but I'm waiting for it to really come down to that lower level of the 139 to the 123 area, which is a monthly, and then the zone right below it. And this is kind of what I would expect, is for them to kind of do this type of thing, pump it, or even something like this, where they would pump it at this level. You would see it get up, almost hit it, and then come back down, stop everybody else out, and then pop it higher. Right, and we see that, and then everybody cries, right? Because they got tear. All right, enough with that. Okay, so you can see here that these plays here are really important to be looking at, but I expect these lower levels. Now, resistance. When we look at the resistance level, there really isn't much until that 50 period moving average you can see here sold off here on the month, but it's already been pierced. I'd expect it to go up. On last month, we saw a good amount of volume come in. So that's why I'm apt to look at this saying, you know what, this could be potentially going back up here. And so that's why I said, expect them maybe to pull liquidity from and remember, the perpetual futures here are traded on many of these. So you have people trading the perpetual futures on these. And so that means that liquidity they're looking for, especially if they're coming down and they're taking people out, their stops, so that they can take it back up. Institutions now have the ability to trade off those perpetuals, off the latest legislation that we're seeing. That's actually being brought into, as we talked about yesterday, traditional finance. So I would expect them to start taking advantage of these plays here. So I know I would if I had billions of dollars to trade. I'm like, good. So, and here's the thing, these things have such huge communities, and I've talked about this multiple times. These huge communities act as liquidity.
Right.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. But if I'm a bank, dude, this, meme coin / new product / stock hybrid of meme coins is innately set up in a way where I can offload my position as the newbies who follow in. It's just how it's set up. And so, why would obviously probably 10 years, these will be against the law, kind of like how, not pink sell, but pink slips are, right?
Right.
I.e. Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, you can trade it, but it's unregulated, right? That's the key point here. These will probably be unregulated and not be so easily attainable within 5 to 10 years. But right now, it is. So there you go. So yeah, I like this area, but ultimately the next area here that I'm looking at is really that 600 milli area that I would expect to see the market kind of hold the area here. This is also that monthly and weekly area. So I would expect to see some fluctuations here, but ultimately I think we could get up easily into up into that 700 milli area, and right now sitting at like 200 would at least be a 3x, but I would expect it to really come down to that 1 the 139, and potentially that 65 milli is really that area that is going to be that sweet spot as they come down. That 65, 22 milli. Again, small. I'm only putting in a small amount to just take advantage of this move up. If I have, let's say, 40 of these that just skyrocket, I'm paying attention to, just checking them out every day or every night before I go to sleep, just looking at, or maybe once every 2-3 days, just go through, check it out, see what's going on. But the key is to understand, make sure you're looking at your P&L, right, and paying attention to those plays, so that if you see all of a sudden, you're at $5 one day and the next day you're at 4,000, 5,000, right? You're like, there's a quick 1,000x, right, that you just got. So don't get mad that you're, that you think you should have put more money in. Again, you're just setting up for the next bear and bull market that we're going to come into over the next 4 years. So don't worry if you 5 of them shoot up and then you only take, let's say, a couple thousand out of them. Imagine having
it's a good problem to have, just taking a couple of thousand out of things you invest $10 in.
Well, also look at this idea that ultimately, if these things really take off, right, your $5 sitting out there really sits nice for, even take if you get 1,000x or a 10,000x on any of these, right, which is very possible. We understand that can happen. I mean, look at Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu went, and I think these communities have that fervency to be able to get, and that's why we're looking at them, right? They're kind of the top low cap coins here with the biggest communities. So I think it's important to be paying attention to that. Same thing was with Shiba Inu, same thing that we saw that with Doge, same thing we saw that with many of the other ones that just really kind of took off. I mean, BNB, even though it was juggernaut, it was still kind of a meme coin area. So ultimately, now we're going to go over a couple more peanut pot.
I got Ponky queued up next.
All right, perfect. Ponky. Here we go. Boom. Punkity punk, punk, Ponky. Boom.
$60 million Ponky, down from its highs of a bazillion, but still a respectable $7.3 million traded over the last 24 hours. Make sure you have the right one. We're at 10 cents, Pedro.
Alrighty.
You're probably looking at market cap, but
the reason why Tom is watching my back there is literally because sometimes I'm so many things are going on, like looking at charts, seeing how things up, that I gotta just make sure. It's interesting. I wonder how Crypto Lifer does it. Like legit, because he deals with so much.
But he just like you, if it's not a clear contract that comes up right away, he struggles a bit. He only gives it like 5 seconds before he moves on. He's like, all right, let's not stopping my show to look for something. Because fans send him super chats to go over things, and he does. And most of the time, they are coins that he's spoken about before. Very rarely are they brand new and he can't find them. But every once in a while, someone will say, hey, can you look up shit butt Inu? And he'll either decline on a name like the one I just made up. Actually, I didn't make that up. That was one.
It's actually a real, like the chip on Inu.
And or he'll bring it up, and if it doesn't come up quickly, or if there's too many and it's in with a lot of scams, he's just like, no, that's not for the show. We'll worry about that some other day. Interestingly enough, though, is your numbers are different than mine. Mine says a $60 million market cap, and you've got. Oh no, you've got it too. 60 million.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
I got 59.3.
I was reading that wrong.
Yeah. That's all good. All right, boom. Here we go. So right now, like you said, we're sitting at that 59. We're finding struggle, and this is a key. A lot of these are playing off that 8-period moving average on the monthly. So that's why you're seeing me start at the monthly. Normally, I start at the weekly, and if I think the monthly is good, but many of them are hitting that resistance. Now here, Ponky did not really push through the 8-period moving average there. So, but the seller wicks were absorbed in many areas here. So for me, I'm definitely looking at potential push up at least to the 113 milli. And my entry point that I'm kind of looking at is really that 18 milli to about 11 milli. So we're talking hopefully a 10x. And again, I'm going to be looking to take a small little bit, but really capture the majority, put my position in down at the lower levels here. Now, our supply area here is you're going to have two of them. One's going to be the 8-period monthly when you're looking at this, okay? So that might act as resistance. And we'll see something kind of court like this, right? Kind of hit, boom, comes down, hit again. And again, this is probably 2 months, and then boom, we'll see it go up. So the other area here that I want to bring up is the monthly area right here. Give me 1 second. All right, boom. And so you can see here, as we came down, we hit this area. I think we're going to hit this area here. I expected to see it kind of hit here at this level. So I'll kind of come down, boom, hit that, hit the 8, come back down, find support, and then see it kind of come up, come down, and then see it go up even more. So actually, let me make that a little shorter. Boom, have this come down, boom, pop that, boom, put the lower high or higher low. Hit this, come down, and then into, and we all know how meme coins go. It just, you get the God candle, and then before you know it, it just goes up, right? Something like this, right? Boom, went up, came down, came
Must
up,
go up. Coin up.
Yeah.
Wallet up.
Yeah,
Need
so
Lambo. Oh.
that's about it. And then what's really pointing out to me is that the fact that we had a decent amount of good volume come in from last month. Right, so there was definitely some institutional money coming in, buying in, and definitely establishing their orders at these lower levels, right? So I always talk about how if they're going to get in, they're going to get in at lower levels. And then the next one, the last one is going to be PopCat. Let's pull that up here real quick. Poppity Cat. And where is it at? A lot of these are Solana. The reason why I picked Solana because it's cheaper for us to get in and get out. And in additionally to that, these areas here will allow you to be able to take profit. There's a lot of volume in Solana. And so if there's a big push in one coin or another, people transfer money to get into one. And so if you need exit liquidity, they're going to be coming in if this thing starts to pump. So that's why I picked that. Whereas Ethereum, there's a lot of good stuff going on Ethereum, but a lot of the money stays in Ethereum because it costs a lot of money to get in and get out. So, and I know they're saying they're lowering the price, but dude, in the mix of a huge push within Ethereum, they still gets up to $40, $50, $60. It ain't as bad as what it used to be, or 500, but still. Whereas if I can trade Solana and get in and get out under $5, $10, I mean, hey, like all day, right?
All day.
All right, here we go. So PopCat here. Yeah, that's all right. And for your PopCat, you have it about 259 milli for a market cap.
Exactly. I just upgraded to 260 million. Hold on there, Callie. I'm busy.
Oh, the puppy wants to
Dog's
go
hungry.
Go,
tapping its bowl. The dog has the best life. It just walks up, taps his bowl, and Mrs. Striking and I just instantly, like Pavlov's dogs, go over and feed it. Just eats when it wants because it just goes ding, and we're like, yes, must take care of dog. I guess I'm the Pavlov dog.
I was gonna say you definitely are, but I'm not gonna point that out. You did.
Hold on over there.
Man, she's getting aggressive, man. Wow. Well, did she normally eat around this time, anyways?
Yeah.
All right. This is the last one here. I'll go over this. If you want to just go feed her real quick, and then I'll go over this.
Alrighty, I'll take care of that.
Yeah, cool. All right, guys. So when it comes to our good old friend, or not good old friend, but with PopCat here, I like this area down here sitting at that 72,000 area, primarily because, again, you have all these stops sitting right here. You have these stops sitting right here. And so this would be an excellent area for them to stop everybody out, bring in liquidity for themselves, and then basically push it up. And remember, PopCat is traded on perpetual futures. So that's why I'm saying I'd expect them to come and do this, right? And now if you want to buy the hard coin, you can, the hard coin, You can do that, or you can trade the perpetual futures in relationship to this. So one of the things I'm looking at is right here at that level is going to be that 72.29 area to that 59 area. Now, from a resistance level, we've got a few things that are going to be in the way here. Again, we have that 8 period, and that kind of acted as resistance. You can see we kind of, oh, actually, excuse me. Is that? No, that's why. I was like, wait. The 8 period acted as a resistance here on PopCat, here on the monthly area here. But you can see that it wasn't a lot of volume. Look, it was less volume than the previous candle, green candle. And because of that, I'm expecting to see this and this take over. And you can see how volume is dying down here when it comes to the sell. We're almost 2/3 of the way through the month, and we don't even have half the volume on PopCat here for seller volume. So again, that's why I'm looking at potentially this level and this level, because this would act as more sell volume or buy volume, so for them to take in. So sell, there are sell markers sitting at below this area and this area right here. There are stops because people were long. So what you're looking to do, what institutions or most people who have big, large accounts want to short the market, drop it, take the liquidity, which those liquidity is sellers. And if I'm a buyer, I need sellers to come in. So I want sellers to come in, right? This is the seller, right? Boom, they're going to come in because they're getting stopped out. Boom, and I'm a buyer. I'm going to absorb that. Boom, and then I take market up, right? And so that's what I'm looking at that area here at that 72 to 59,000 area. After that, it's kind of it's a wash. We could probably see it go down. So your first resistance is going to be a few things here. First resistance is going to come in as that 8 period sitting right here. Again, that area here is sitting around 50, about 500 million, 477 mil to about 500 million. So this is your first resistance you're going to come. Now this is potentially a good one where we're going to see it hit and then see it come down. So you can see here we came down here at this level, boom, we come down, we hit it, and we can see it come down. So this is what we would look like, what it would look like. Boom, next month, come down, stop people out, come up, hit this, boom, comes down, and then see that kind of like this, boom. We're gonna hit that level, and then should see it kind of go up from there. And so I'd expect that type of move. Again, this is that local bottom, taking out all the stops here and then seeing it go up. So let's put up a few more resistance levels so you guys can get prepared. Again, you have 2 resistance levels here. You got one right here. And then you have another one right here. So these levels here are 1 billion. So I mean, even if like you're buying at that $1 million mark area, these areas here you got 1. So like I said, it would look something like this. Actually, let me finish it off. Boom, boom. See it come down. Boom, 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 boom. And then something like that. So us getting around that 70 million, 50 million is a good area, potentially to see a 10x, if not a much higher x out of that. Okay, then so that wraps it up for the little meme coin area I wanted to bring to you guys on Friday. Something to look at. I'm expecting to see some big moves out of these, primarily because of the community, because the community is going to go out and they're going to shill it. And when they see those huge community, any person who has a lot of money says, you know what, I have exit liquidity. And here's the thing, you go in, they make their money, they get out, but them making their money, they're making 50x, 100x that they're trying to get. So again, think like that. And you're not spending a ton of money here. You're looking to get $5, $10. You're looking for basically just like, hey, let's go. And if it happens to run like crazy, right, and you see it go up, and we see it get to 10 billion, 15 billion on many of these other ones that are out there. If not better, right? If not better. So again, leave a little bag when you cash out. But at these low levels, you don't need a lot of money, right, to really go through and kind of set up your bag for the next, bear and bull market.
Pedro, I like that segment. It was good. We got some good information out there and some things that I had never heard of, and researching them behind the scenes. reviewed them really quickly. I've tweeted to a bunch of their community screenshots of you reviewing them with a link to the show. So hopefully that'll generate some interest.
Yep.
And also Crypto Mike follows it up with, hey, what's going on with Brett on base?
Bretty. Let's check out Brett. I love it. Brett on base. Boom. Brett on base.
Sometimes when there's a delay and when I hit the button to change screens, you hear me get frustrated. There's a delay. Sometimes it works all right because like that time I pressed it and then I took a sip of my coffee in one scene and it appeared in the other. It's like we have a production staff changing the camera view and I'm not actually doing it. We have this massive network we have. I know. I just looked at it. I was like, hey, it looked like we had tech staff in the back switching the camera view because I was drinking coffee during the whole time.
Real quick. Why is that not? All right, so Brett on base. Let me go here real quick. 2 T's or 1 T?
2 T's. It's not it's that WETH one. That first one, that's the base.
Oh, let's go back here. Right?
Yeah,
first
it's
one.
yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. Alrighty, then here we go. So Brett on base.
Oh, that's not it because that's not. Oh wait, yeah, that's a year old, right? That's back from 24. Yeah, that's it. Got a $400 million.
Yep. So you can see here with this one, we actually pierced that. And this looks a little bit different than the other ones that we've been looking at. You can see that it put in a lower low here. So I don't like that. Like that lower low, and then we are not putting any additional highs here. Like I would have loved to see at least get up to these higher levels. It didn't. But ultimately, I like this area here. If we're going to come down, I'll be looking at that 297 milli to about 252 milli here. Your risk to reward here, like if you noticed a lot of the other ones, we had a huge risk to reward, potential for many X's, right? Like we're talking at least 10 X's until you get to the all-time high, right? So to me, that's what I was looking to bring to the market here with these guys. This one, you can see here, it's 2 billion. So you got 10 X's there, right? Which is nice, but I feel like it might do some price discovery as it goes down first before we see it continue up, right? I think it's sitting at a little high market cap right there, potentially. So they might want to push it down to that 100 milli, right? Before they kind of see it kind of go back up. So let me put this in here real quick.
$100 milli. Let me find their $100 million.
100 million. And we'll put this down here. How about? You can see their average monthly is about 50 million. So you can see here where and that's where I'm getting the wick, where it would come down to, because you can see here that wick here, the wick here is about 50 mil. This was 50 mil. Right, the average wick size typically on the demand wick you can see is about 50 mil. So that's why I'm putting 50 mil here. If we do come down, is what we're gonna sit there and see. So boom, right there. Let me put that in again.
Tweeting out to the based Brett community. Mike, if you're listening, go find the tweet and give it some likes or something like that. I haven't tweeted it yet.
But this area right here, the first resistance level is going to come in really at this level here. And then the next level, if it breaks through this area, you've got a clean shot pretty much to the all-time highs here. So you've got some resistance here, but it doesn't look like Let me look at this here real quick. Boom. Yeah, that's what I was expecting the way it was sitting. Yep. So boom. Yeah, I wouldn't look at that. So the all-time high here is what I would expect to see. You're gonna have some resistance there, but I would expect it to blow through that top once it finds that support down here. So these are the areas that I'm definitely looking at, and this is what I'm looking for. That basically the move. Give me 1 second. As we come down, we expect it to come down to here. Again, probably pop up. You can see how the 8-period moving average is holding down the price. So it's going to have to break through that. If it doesn't break through it, then it's not going to continue up. So we want to see it break through that 8-period moving average is what you're seeing right here. Right? You can see how it's held it down. It's tried to push through but couldn't. Push through but it couldn't. You can see it resumes the trend down. So what you're going to have to sit there and see is really a big push in volume, green volume, bro. All right, Mike, you want to see come in with big volume, push it up, find support, and you need to see some bigger demand wicks than just kind of like this. Obviously, these were kind of a fake out. They were kind of fake out, but I want to see something like that down at here and or here. And then I would expect to see them with that low price down at that 50 mil. You could see it get back up to that $2-3 billion market cap, which would be sitting about right here. And then we would see that. Boom. 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 Come up. Test the low. Go up. Is what I would expect to see. Yeah, so that's it in a nutshell for that. Now, quick question about some of the news here within. Have you been paying attention to what we've been seeing with the Genius Act with the stablecoin interact?
Not today. I didn't look at much of the news today, Pedro. That was things like that, quick headlines and things like that. I brushed up on, but I didn't look at the Genius Act. Last I checked on it was yesterday when. I'm sorry, on Wednesday, when U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was actually interviewed on CNBC, and he was talking about the rise of stablecoins and how good they are. I'm sorry, it wasn't CNBC, it was the BBC. And the lady tried to trap him and say, yeah, but stablecoins are bad for the U.S. dollar. And he's like, no. Everyone's
backing. It's actually
right. It's actually backing it, and people they're anticipating that stablecoin companies to be buying more treasuries. So it's going to be very good for it. And that was coinciding with the Genius Act going into the House of Representatives to be re-debated, because it was in the House before, and the House shut down voting on it and its status on a procedural vote, of which, I guess I did read up about it a little bit, and I think they did that not because they didn't have support. They wanted, the Senate was fast-tracking theirs, and I think they wanted the Senate's to come first, because for those of you who don't know, are not Americans, or just don't have an idea how their own government works, the Senate and the House never pass the same bill. They pass very similar bills. And then it goes to a conference committee, and the conference committee comes up, takes the parts that are different, and comes up with basically compromises. Well, you said 1 billion, and you said 1.1 billion, so we'll make it 1.05 billion. Or on policies, sometimes they have to send it back, but most of the time the conference committee can work it out. And then they send the same bill back to each house for a rubber stamp vote, so they actually pass the same law. And I think the House wanted to see what the Senate's was going to come out like first, because ultimately the House has, they have monetary policy and monetary and tax and all that type of stuff control or authority. The House does over the Senate. So I think they wanted to get the Senate's version out and just say, okay, none of that works. Let's fix it with our version, and then just send it back to the Senate for rubber stamping.
I think they're really going to. I honestly think they're going to need a whole entire crew that actually establishes the correct way of looking at things. I think they're going to have to hire a lot of crypto legislation experts. like me, you, other people who actually understand the market itself and really can deliver the correct nuances with here. Because the reality is as they start to really get down into the fine details, I don't think many of just the people in Congress even fully understand, even the people behind it. I mean, I think the reason why Miss Warren keeps beating the wrong drum.
For Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Yes, Senator Warren. Is that I really think the people are feeding her the information is just not fully there. And so within crypto, and I think if she was, I think, to do her own strong research, I'm almost positive she'd sit there and be like, oh shoot, I barked up the wrong tree here, right?
Probably.
I think she'll sit there and be like, and I hope one day she might sit there and be like, yeah, I made a mistake, but ultimately let's move forward here. Yeah, and look, she's a human being.
Quick side note, Pedro. Mikester, what tweet? I just dropped my Twitter account. I put a bunch of tweets out today to Popcat, Ponke, Brett on Base, Chill Guy, some of those. Just go look at my profile and show those tweets some love. Like them, retweet them, whatever, make comments. I'm not doing that for engagement. What I'm trying to do is get their eyeballs on the link to our show. Let me rephrase that. I'm not doing that for X engagement. I'm doing that for YouTube engagement to get people to show the YouTube algorithm that, hey, no, people like this. And hopefully one of those groups will do it and they'll get 600 links to it. And then YouTube will start putting us back in the algorithm rotation, because they are not now. And people that get our notifications are not getting notified.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Also on the back end, some of the stuff that's happening right now, just kind of in the world with India and Pakistan, that war there has been really kind of just dying
The whole place is on fire, though, over there. India, Pakistan. And let's not forget, Pakistan shares a border with, as Pedro says it, Iran.
Iran.
With Iran. So that all those places.
Israel.
Things are getting blowed up, sir. It's a mess over there, and most of it's caused by Iran. The India-Pakistan stuff, they've been causing that problem for, since they were one country long. That thing's centuries old. And they ain't going to solve it either by bombing each other.
Well, I think the reason why I'm bringing that up is the CEO of Coinbase made the term saying the world needs crypto now more than ever. Debt is growing exponentially. Inflation is crippling the entire nation. Economic freedom is declining. And it's time to increase economic freedom globally with crypto. And the reason why he says this, and it says this, and I think it's so important to understand, is right now, if your country is in war and there's a lot of turmoil there, the one thing that you can guarantee is that if you own Bitcoin or if you own some stable coin that you can use to transact, that is, and you don't need the cash. If you have literally a thumb drive or some form of just hard wallet, or maybe your phone, right? Maybe you have a phone that's not dead, but just isn't connected, right? But you have your wallet on it. You can sit there and transact by just connecting to a local internet source and send money. So this is a huge thing. I think that most people don't understand the nuances here that crypto brings to people. In addition to TradFi stepping in with this huge push for banks to actually transact stable coins, which is, I think, it's an amazing thing. I mean, and there are multiple banks that are creating their own stable coins and adopting cross-chain stable coins that allows for the free flow of money without huge fees, just like what we saw with Swift. So it's going to be really interesting as things really start to move forward here.
I can't wait to see how financial products are going to change with the ability to use stablecoin transfers. Even if it's banks, even if the user is unaware of it. I mean, it's very possible that, rich guy number 10 is going to call his bank and say, send $10 million to my exchange, or to my stock exchange. It doesn't have to be a crypto.
Yeah, I was going to say,
behind the scenes, the bank does it on USDC instead of sending a wire or sending an interbank transfer or crediting accounts at a common bank. I know. Yeah. It's like a lot of times what happens is banks have, especially with wire transfers, banks have corresponding banks. Like you want to send a wire to somebody in Zimbabwe, Your bank doesn't have a relationship with the bank in Zimbabwe, but the Bank of France does. And so they send it to the Bank of France for further credit to the Bank of Zimbabwe. And it goes beep, burp, 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 burp. Or if you both have accounts at Citicorp, like the banks do, you just credit one guy's account, debit the other guy's account, boom. Well, the guy gets the note, Swift note, wire transfer done, all that kind of stuff. Still takes a long time and lots of money and fees.
5 days, 3 to 5 days.
Fees. Oh, well, we got to wait for it to settle. I'm like, the money's in your fucking account. Oh, well, you can't have it for 4 days.
Yeah. And
behind the scenes, the bank can still send it via USDC. Boop. Or
instantly.
No, or they hold your money for 4 days, make 4 days of interest on it, and then send it instantly. How about that? They are going to screw us left and right. They're like, it takes 4 days. And then you look on the USD, and you're like, blockchain, bitches. I can see right here you haven't sent it.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it's going to bring a lot of transparency to the market and what actually correlates there. It's the fact. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, listen, stop letting your money sit in a centralized exchange. At least stake it on that centralized exchange. And he goes, what's that? And I go, it's your money really working for itself by them using it to add liquidity to the market. And so really you go through, whereas only banks were allowed to do this back in traditional finance. But now that we actually have these moments now where, at least for this brief period of time, hopefully it stays, right? But I would think for the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, you have this small window that we can really take advantage of. Just like when America didn't know how to, or the American tax through the internet, they didn't know how to tax the internet. And that went on for, what was it, like 5 years, almost 10 years, that they didn't know how to put together a tax bill to tax the internet, right? And so you remember that? Like, now it's just common. But there was this period in time where you were able to buy things, especially Amazon. Dude, that's why Amazon got huge. Instead of going into Barnes and Nobles, for us old people here, remember going down to Barnes and Nobles and getting a coffee and sitting down and reading that paper book there? That's where most people did. But then once Amazon came out, which was a book distributor seller, they went through and man, you could buy without tax for a good, how long?
I know, it was a long time.
5 years.
And in Chicago, we have 10.5% tax now, I think, or 10 or 10.5. I can't remember exactly what it is. And so it did save a lot. It did save a lot. But you know what? Where you can save a lot of money, Pedro?
Tell me.
I can tell you what, you can save a lot of money if you join Rumble during this ad. This sponsorship is from Rumble. That's right. One that is incredibly important to the survival of the company. When Rumble first started in 2013, they built a platform for the small creator. They didn't censor or have biases. They were fair and treated all creators equally. No one thought platforms would censor political conversation or censor opinions on COVID. What they did, Facebook admitted they fell to pressure from the Biden and Harris administration. Rumble did not. They held the line. They are attacked daily for giving us a voice to talk to you. They are attacked in corporate media. They are attacked in governments like France. They are attacked from brand advertisers who refuse to work for them. I should say work with them. Corporate America is fighting to remove speech. Rumble is fighting to keep it. Rumble won't survive with brand advertisers. They don't get much of it. Watching our show on Rumble is the most they can ask from you. But if you really believe in this fight and you have the means, one major way you can help Rumble survive is by joining Rumble Premium. I'm a Rumble Premium, and it shows up on my little thing there, the verification thing and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Helps out a lot, actually. No ads, you get additional content, that type of stuff. Anyway, join the community that believes in the First Amendment and believes in our human right to free speech. Rumble is offering $10 off with the promo code STUDIO when you purchase an annual subscription. Go to rumble.com premium and use the promo code STUDIO. You can click this link here too. Like I said, if you have the means and believe in the cause, now is the time to join Rumble Premium. If you don't have the means, we're just happy if you watch us on Rumble. And that's why we stream here, ladies and gentlemen. We streamed solely on YouTube for a long time, but we came over to Rumble to ensure that even just things we say in the financial markets are not censored or derated or anything like that. And the proof is in the pudding. Our algorithm which we used to get 25, 30, 50, 70, one time 500 viewers on YouTube, now gets about between 3 and 15. But Rumble, it's going up. Why? Because the Rumble viewers like the honesty and lack of censorship. So if you have the means, if you have the $89, $99 minus the $10 promo code here, join Rumble Premium, help support our channel here, and support Rumble to make sure they stay in business. And join the Rumble community. It's growing, and especially in the crypto group, it's growing, and we're typically one of the larger shows in it. So appreciate it. Thank you to Rumble for that advertising. There we go. Look at that. We were 3 for 3 today, Pedro. 3 for 3. We earned a whole dollar today.
Hey, 30 cents, dude. I'm not 34 cents. It's still good. 33.3 cents for each one. I'm happy with it. It doesn't matter. As long as it's growing. I remember when it was at 3 cents, 4 cents, and now we've had a 10x in a matter of 4 months. So it's a good day.
It is definitely a good day.
I'm just looking at the percentages because ultimately, if we keep growing by the percentages, hey, that's what really matters to me. So, yes, sir. What are your thoughts?
Pedro, we only have a few minutes left here.
Yep.
Just take a gander over at Bitcoin and let's see what she's done since I closed out my trade there.
All righty. Yeah, we're selling off down to our area here. Ooh. Oh, and we're at it's right at the trade. Look, boom. So we saw it. Look at this. Boom. Come in, came below. Boom. We're seeing price. Dude, nice, man. Nice play. Nice play. Nice play. The plane. Yeah, I got that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we started the day at Bitcoin and up at $106,000.
Yeah.
And we dumped off 4,000 of those dollars today. I've used the term massive dump, huge dump, everything's awful. In typical fashion, if you zoom out, the daily candle, you barely, it's like, okay, it's just one of the candles in that range, right? So it's not actually that big of a dump. But for day traders, it was a wonderful opportunity to make some fat bank. Like I said, I made some fat demo bucks from my awesome demo apartment. Driving my demo Bentley, demo Lambo, and Mrs. Striking has the demo bucks going to a demo horse.
There you go.
The demo horse is one of those horses that jumps over the huge rails and the dolphin displays and all that type of stuff. The real horse is the little pony that.
So let me jump in here real quick. So you guys, all right, guys. So you can see here, it hit our trigger here of the supply area. We saw it come down. We talked about there was a demand area here. So I said we should expect to see a decent run up again. So it's exactly what we're seeing here. So we're seeing a pop down below. Saw volume come in. We saw close above the 8 period moving average right here. So I said you always, when we close above it, we want to see it come back down, test it. You should gone long right here, right? Boom. Our stop should be right here or at the local low here. And what we're looking for is a 2-to-1. Give me one sec, or a 1-to-1 ratio. So you should have gone long right here. Our stop should be right here. Boom. And so we're looking for a 1-to-1 ratio, which should be about right here where we're sitting. And then right here at this point is when you're looking to take off 70 to 60% of that trade. Right? So now that we hit it, then you can either keep your stop right here at this level, or you move up your stop to this low here, which is going to be, so here's the local low, then this would be, or this is like the swing low, local low, and the next stop comes to move right here. So you have either or play here, right? You make that play, and then, but these things happen. This is what I'm saying is they happen every single day. You can go in and take a little piece of the pie there and then walk away with a little bit of profit. So nice little play you guys got right there. Yes, last night we had the short. Today we had the long. So boom. And again, that other, like I say, 40 to 30%, you then put it up at this level here, potentially. And then if you want to let it run, you want to see the next level area here would be about right here. So that's it in a nutshell.
Where the previous month's low is 100,000. This If this thing keeps going, couple hours left in the day, people could unload this thing to 100,000.
Yeah, get down to that 95 and then see it continue up. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. All the new guys over at Rumble, thank you so much for coming in again. You guys rock the mic. Really appreciate you. You guys are keeping this show afloat, so we really do appreciate you. You make it worthwhile for me to keep coming every day and showing you some good trades. So thanks for coming in.
I have up on the screen, we didn't get to it, but we will next week. BNB sitting at $641. $93 billion market cap with 723. Yeah, you could review it if you like. Got a second here.
Yeah, we'll just do it here real quick. All right, guys. So we're kind of playing again in this range here. I'm just kind of going sideways. We have the range up here, right here, and right here. So I'd expect to see BNB, at least if we see BTC break down this weekend, we should expect to see it come down and hit that 100-day period moving average right here, which is sitting at that 625 area on the BNB USD chart. And I believe this is BitBuy, or no, this is the perpetual contract for BitBuy, or BuyBit. I flipped that up all over the place. So BuyBit, so you can sit there and gauge this. Again, I'm expected to kind of come down here and find support there. You actually have a, let's pull this up here real quick.
And I note BNB did not dump with Bitcoin today.
No, it did not. No, it did not. So, but it's still sitting in a different spot. So it is a little bit weaker than Bitcoin, literally just simply because when you look at the scale of it, it's just not moving in conjunction with it. So I don't know. I think if we do see a sell-off in Bitcoin, I'd expect to see us tap at that level here. Give me 1 second. Change that.
And it went down a little bit, but went down. It started the day at 654 or something like that. But that's not, that's typical intraday range for BNB.
Well, the other part behind it as well is this, and I mean, I was trying to make this quick, but we'll go over it. So you see over here where we're seeing this part right here. Look at the big volume days. They're red days, right? You only had one real green day. So that's why I'm saying I expected to see it come down, because they're putting in shorts to see it come down to that, to pick up liquidity at that 100 period, which is the yellow line right here. That 58, that 89 and 100 is really where it's playing to most likely pick up liquidity. At the same place, you also have a zone liquidity area right here, which I marked in green. So yes, fun times.
Mike says, cheers dudes.
Cheers, my dude. Most def, dog. Oh.
Mike, give the missus highs from us. Have a good weekend. Make sure you guys do something fun. Don't commiserate too much about the Canuckastanis losing Stanley Cup again. You guys were close, but us Americans, we had to take it from you once again. Might start a war between the countries more than tariffs, but having people from the South in the U.S. run around with the Stanley Cup certainly is an odd thing. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we had a great week here. Went over some good projects here today with Pedro hitting up the meme coins, which we haven't spoken about in a while. My skills in trading are growing, and I was thinking I was gonna be trading more for real this month, but it's kind of faded more to the demo account for a reason. But that's what you should do. You should spend more time in the demo account than you ever think you need to. We didn't pitch our sponsor BitFi down here, but if you want to learn to go long and short, this is how you do it. Come listen to Pedro and I and use our crypto exchange sponsor. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it was a great week. I want to thank Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst over here in the box next to me. We'll be here next week doing the same thing, but bringing you even more entertainment and even more education, and you won't even believe it. You just can't even believe it. Anyway, thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. It was a great week. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another great episode of the show. We will see you on Monday.